Welcome to Between the Lines of Scripture. I'm your host, Dennis Cole, and this is where we slow down, listen deeply, and step inside the world between the Bible's words. Today, as we read Between the Lines of Scripture, we meet a man whose story represents one of the most dramatic transformations in history. Saul of Tarsus, the man we later know as Paul the Apostle. Before he carried the gospel across the Roman world, he tried to destroy it. Saul was born just a few years after Christ in the bustling city of Tarsus, located in Turkey, one of the great crossroads of the ancient world. Greek philosophy, Roman law, and Eastern faith all collided there. From birth, Saul belonged to these three worlds all at the same time. A Jew by faith and family, a Greek by culture and education, a Roman citizenship. That combination was no accident. Between the lines, we can see preparation unfolding, even before Saul had any idea what his life would one day become. Raised in a devout home, Saul was eventually sent to Jerusalem for formal religious training. There, he studied under Gamaliel, one of the most respected rabbis of the time. He learned scripture meticulously, memorizing law, absorbing tradition, mastering interpretation. But Saul's education extended beyond religion. In Tarsus, he had already learned Greek language, philosophy, and debate. As a Roman citizen, he carried legal protections that allowed him to travel freely throughout the empire. Jewish faith, Greek intellect, Roman privilege, all of it was shaping up into a single instrument long before it was surrendered to God. Saul was not a casual believer. He was intense, driven, certain that strict obedience to the law was the truest way to honor God. In his own words, he had advanced in Judaism beyond many of his own age, being extremely zealous for tradition. When followers of Jesus began spreading their message, Saul saw them as a threat. To him, they were heretics, endangering Israel's faithfulness. He joined the persecution. He even approved the stoning of Stephen, the first Christian martyr, an event recorded in the book of Acts in chapter 7. But that wasn't enough. Saul obtained legal authority from the Sanhedrin, the supreme court of Jewish law, to hunt believers as far away as Damascus. Burning with certainty, he set out on a dusty road, convinced he was defending God. Acts chapter 9 tells us what happened next. A light from heaven, a voice calling his name, Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me? In an instant, Saul encountered the risen Christ, and everything changed. The God he thought he was defending was the very God he'd been fighting. The persecutor became a believer. The destroyer became a disciple. His passion wasn't erased, it was redeemed. As church historian Philip Schaff once observed, the engine was reversed. The same intensity was now fueled by divine purpose. Saul, now Paul, was brilliant, disciplined, and fearless. He could debate scholars or speak plainly to laborers. He feared no one but God. Some dismissed his appearance as unimpressive, yet the power of his words was undeniable. He carried what he called a thorn in the flesh, a weakness that humbled him and reminded him that God's strength shines through human limitation. As Paul himself wrote, when I am weak, then I am strong. Every part of Paul's life now made sense. The scholar, the Pharisee, the Roman citizen, the linguist, all pointed toward a single mission: to carry the message of Christ to both Jew and Gentile. He could reason in the synagogues, dialogue with the philosophers, and appeal to Roman governors by law. To the Jew, he became a Jew. To the Greek, as a Greek. To all, a servant of the gospel. Before meeting Christ, Paul had everything: lineage, learning, and power. After that encounter, he called it all loss compared to knowing Jesus. His story reminds us no mind is too proud, no heart is too hardened, no past too distant for God to redeem. The persecutor became a preacher, the scholar became a missionary, the enemy became a friend. And from that transformation came letters, churches, and a faith that continues to shape the world. I hope you have learned a bit more about the Apostle Paul today. And thank you again for listening to Between the Lines of Scripture. I'm Dennis Cole. Join me again next time as we continue uncovering the stories beneath the stories, the culture, the history, and the eternal message at the heart of God's Word.